Traffic 192.
RP GOA, this is closed. Kenny.
That's 10-4, we still drop to 93 District, Nolan Richardson and Turner. Nolan Richardson and Turner. We're getting multiple calls of an 81 with injuries. Vehicle that hit a wall. It's going to be a single vehicle 81. I think it's a red SUV. FMS is around.
10-4, George Gator, Ventana.
2220. 4901. 901. Two five 181. 181. Sir, everything's just okay. Mail the RP. Shows advised will be 10-8. And out. Show us en route to the 81. 10-4, Nolan Richardson and Turner. 2620. Three Frank 135. 3 Frank 135. Sorry, 1100 East Nevada, the estimated address? For me, 706. For me, 706. Chief Frank 157, you can go ahead and turn up to the area 53 District, 621 Felice, 621 Felice, apartment A, Adam. From your rental 1 for trade cars, you came in as a missing endangered juvenile, had autism. Brian Greenham, white male, 16-year-old. RPD call back to 13, advise he came back 97. RPD came in contact with Yvonne Greenham. Free Frank 156.
Okay, I guess I can do a little narration. I'm recording
Hanging in 61 District, 3900 Harrison, reference 1 for check line at 2233.
two security guards working for a private company who are assigned to a federal contract here in El Paso, Texas, USA. Downtown area, the port of entry. What is the name, the official name of this port of entry? I'm just going to call it what people call it, the El Paso Juarez Bridge. And two employees of the Texas Agricultural Department who collect taxes on liquor and cigarettes coming from Mexico into the United States of America. The building they're standing in front of, if you see that arch with the lights, that's behind the little building that the Texas Agricultural Department workers are supposed to be working at. At this time, I'm going to have to guess at the time. It's probably 11 o'clock at night. The Texas employees close up and go home. Of course, the security guards who work for a private company under a federal contract, they stay working all night long. Now, right now, it's 7 minutes into this. I was recording with another camera that gives me the ability to zoom, and I understand that it is dark, but I have no reason to lie. And you can see one or two of them who are in the lighted area. You can even hear them. And sometimes when a car will be moving towards them, their headlights will shine the lights on them. It seems like it's a male security guard and maybe a female security guard. We're on September 24th. Well, if it crossed midnight, then it's September 25th. The issue is that the Texas agricultural employees are being paid by the taxes of the people of the state of Texas. The private security guards working for a private company on a federal contract are being paid by the taxes of the people of the United States of America. And I find it hard to believe if somebody says, well, they were on their meal break. Again, around this time, the employees of the Texas Department of Agriculture close up and go home. The security guards continue doing their job, I guess, till whatever their shift changes. So I would find it hard to believe that they would be scheduled, the private guards and the state employees would be scheduled to take a meal break at the same time. Not to mention to be allowed to congregate together. It is in security, we had an image problem. And when two guards are smoking and yucking it up with employees that you can see by the uniforms are not guards, it is an image problem, a credibility problem. Do people trust you? Are people going to ridicule you? Are people not going to take you seriously? It just contributes to the dumb guard impression that a lot of people in society have. Should they have that perception, that's another issue. However, if you're seeing the people who are walking by in front of them,
will be the primary unit on this 8183.
are seeing them joking it up, and I'm trying to. What you're hearing in the background is the El Paso, Texas, USA police radio that I'm listening to a police scanner app called Broadcastify, and I have been recommending to people in this dangerous world, it is helpful to know what's around you. And in El Paso, Texas, USA, before the August 3rd incident, which I don't talk about, I try not to talk about, I had already been using this system just so I can know exactly what's around me. If there are any police calls, what kind of police calls. And around me here, I've heard of assaults, attempted assault with knives and guns. And I work here. I can tell you that this is an area that needs serious police supervision, but there isn't any. Around this time, there isn't any. The taxi drivers during the day, and we're into this now for 10 minutes, and they're still there yucking it up. It was 5 minutes on the other camera before it decided to stop working. But I'm fixing that issue because I said if I'm going to take this seriously, and I am going to take it seriously, to record any police interaction with the public, one, to help protect individual human rights and individual constitutional protections in the United States of America.
2 Frank 178.
It's sad that we're in a world where police officers don't have any respect anymore, don't have any ethical critique. They can't even, check their own behavior. The yelling, the cursing, tossing people around, throwing them on the ground.
RPS with Emergence Health Network with the crisis
I'm
line.
gonna wait for this person to
The
finish.
vaccine subject vomiting,
And it's
subject
ironic
suffers from
that usually there
bipolar
isn't
disorder,
this much
claiming he's
radio
scared of the dark, does not want to close the front door. Unknown lipstick 90, unknown weapon, subject Arturo Ramirez, Hispanic male, no other 85.
So we're running on 15
Quarter
minutes.
Sunny UCITS.
So they were, again, suspicious to me
over on channel 1, sir.
that state employees and private guard company employees will be given the same time for a smoking break and or a meal break. I have a video I have not posted. I think it was over an hour and a half of guard. Oh no, of two. I should find it and post it. There was two Texas Department of Agriculture, which is the one that collect the taxes on the liquor and cigarettes coming in from Mexico into the United States of America. Two of them were sitting there on their office chairs for over an hour, having, whatever, yucking it up. And if they had been off the clock, they're loitering, go home. But they weren't off the clock because those doors that you can see open now as you're looking towards your screen, the one on the right side and the left side were open. You can't see the door on the left side. I can. But the resolution on the camera isn't picking it up. You probably can't even see all four people. I can see them. One standing in front of the door on the right side. There's a Texas employee to my left, a guard next to him, to the guard's left, and then to that guard's left is the other Texas Department of Agriculture employee. And then the other security guard over there by the door on the right side as you're looking to your screen. And again, this is your tax dollars at work here. And police officers in El Paso, this is when I started recording, just to explain why I'm recording. Police officers in El Paso do have violent, aggressive nature. In the calendar year of 2019, policing requires getting enraged, acting irrational, beating people up. El Paso, there's a lot. If you go to YouTube, you will find a lot of video history documented of the criminal behavior of members of the El Paso Police Department. But they don't think that they're wrong. The most serious one, if you go to any search engine and you put in El Paso, Texas, police officer shoots handcuffed man, you're going to find a very disturbing video. And if you watch the whole 40 minutes, if you want to see when the individual is shot to death, it's like 22 minutes into it. But the whole 40 minutes is disturbing. Somebody was tenacious enough under the Freedom of Information Act to get all the videos in what's called the county jail here in El Paso, Texas, and post them on the internet. And the sad thing about it is that there were so much stories being told by the police officer involved, the sheriff, the prison guard that works for the county, El Paso County in Texas, that the district attorney didn't originally file charges. And when you see that video, you're wondering, well, why the heck wouldn't he file charges? Because, the way systems work is he had to have seen the video. He had to done a full and thorough investigation, which included seeing the videos of what happened and how the individual was shot. And then he concluded to present the evidence to the grand jury, and the grand jury said that there's no reason to investigate, no reason to indict. And then, of course, the sad history is that the city government of El Paso, Texas, permanently removed him from duty, and then a court ordered the city of El Paso to return him to his previous position in the police department in El Paso, Texas, USA. And you wonder how can, I mean, if you see the videos, it's without question an exhausted man laying down on the floor, pants around his knees, handcuffed behind his back, and the police officer shoots him in the back. I thought he had shot him in the head, but he shot him he shot him in the back, a little bit below the head. Either way, one shot resulted in the death of the individual in custody. You know, it's like, I don't know what city it was, but that individual who was put in handcuffs and put in the back of a MRAP, literally a vehicle made of metal with rivets and screws, and they didn't put seatbelts on the individual, and the individual died. That is irresponsible behavior. That's negligent care on the side of the police department. I'm going to stop here because I see that they're sharing a video. Somebody's showing them a video on their cell phone. It's too bad it's happening in the dark. I'll just narrate a little bit. Again, what you're seeing is 2 private guards on federal contract and 2 employees of the state of Texas wasting time, congregating, smoking. Again, the state of Texas employees are being paid by the taxes of the people of the state of Texas, and the private guards working for a private company on a federal contract are being paid by the tax dollars of the people of the United States of America. So right now they're wasting your money. They're not doing their job. And on this video alone, it's 17 minutes. On the camera that stopped working earlier, I had them on for 5 minutes. So we're looking at right now 23 minutes, because it just moved to 18 minutes. 23 minutes. And again, I would find it suspicious if anybody made the claim, well, all those 4 individuals were on a meal break. How did they schedule a meal break at the same time? And as far as the
61 District 4101 Northfield, reference to
employees of the state of Texas, at this time they close their offices. They don't work all night long. They don't work overnight. I don't know if they close at 10 or 9:30, but around this time is when I see them leave the back doors that they're standing close to right now with their little backpacks. And if you're an adult, I'm going to tell you this, if you are an adult, you look foolish with a backpack. The little 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds going to school with their little backpack, well, they look adorable and cute. An adult roaming around with a backpack, can you grow up and get a briefcase? So just want to point that out. But around this time, they do, the employees of the state of Texas close their offices, grab their stuff, go to the vehicles, and drive home. So, but right now they're socializing with the guards. And I guess the bigger issue is, well, they're both not working, both groups. The 2 Department of Texas employees, Department of Agriculture employees, and the 2 guards, they're not working. And again, if you're in charge, one Texas employee is now on her phone. So I may have been wrong. The female is the Texas employee, and the 2 guards are males. And again, I don't know the exact time, but I'm guessing it's after 11. Just for documentation, if it's before midnight, it's September 24th, 2019. If it's after midnight, it's September 25th, 2019. The closest address, it's right above the 1000 South El Paso Street. That's the address of the agricultural building that you're standing in front of. This is in El Paso, Texas, USA, downtown area. The guards work for the federal government in a port of what's called the port of entry. This is where people from Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico come into El Paso, Texas, and where El Paso, Texas, USA people go into Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, in the downtown area. What we here in El Paso call the downtown area. And again, the closest location, just for documentation purposes, is if you were going to say incident of location, it would be 1000 South El Paso Street. And now a guard has his phone up and he's showing the other three something. The female is still on her phone. Well, she just removed the phone from her ear. Again, all four are being paid by tax dollars. Let me see here. Where are we now? We're at 21 minutes and 39 seconds and counting. The other 5 minutes of the other camera, which I may be able to recover and add to this, was 5 minutes. So now we're looking at 26 minutes, which is, I think, it's a little more than a smoke break, you know. And I didn't start recording as soon as they started hanging out.
802, I'll be 97 100 last and for the day. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good night.
And again, the background is
You do the same.
a police scanner app that I got from Google app called Broadcastify, which I'm surprised has the El Paso Police Department radio and other law enforcement, the sheriffs. I've heard the state of Texas on this. And we should have the ability to listen to them, to monitor them. Excuse me, a little tired. Certain words doesn't matter. You know, they work for us. We have a responsibility of protecting freedom, liberty, and independence.
Number is 1926 7264 1926 7264.
And we need the people who work and who are elected to serve to understand exactly who it is they work for. I don't work for them. You don't work for them. They work for us. The Democratic initiatives that they have been announcing in their debates about taking the rich people's money, and on that issue is they're not going to take the people who put them in office money. Understand that. Rich people donate to their political campaigns. They're not going to take those people's money. It's just something to get you to vote for them. And then when they have promised you all this stuff, because the reason to take rich people's money is for you to get free health care, free welfare, food stamps, government housing. I mean, they're promising to take care of you, that you don't have to work. You have that Yang person saying that he will give $1,000 to every family. It sounds good, but where's that money going to come from? And if they're not going to take it from their homies who are rich, who finance their campaigns, guess who they are going to take it from? They're going to take it from you. Elizabeth Warren cannot answer the question if she's going to raise middle class taxes for her health care for everybody. Medicare or Medicaid for all. It doesn't matter what term you use. And we're about this little person that I'm looking at right now. And they are drunk and on drugs. And now what concerns me is they're in that state, and are they of a violent nature? So I'm just turning away from my phone a little bit just to keep an eye on this guy roaming around here. And we get that a lot. That's when I posted a video. Well, I gotta raise my window because the locals want to start congregating. Oh, now he's gonna come around to my side to interfere. I don't know why they think that we're parked and we have to talk to them. We don't. Okay, so the radio's gonna go on. I gotta turn the radio off. Now we're into 25 minutes. So with this video and the other 5, it's now half an hour. That's not a smoking break. So what are you seeing? If it was lighter, I guess you would see more, but you can see the little people there where the lights are under that canopy. 2 Texas Department of Agriculture employees and 2 employees of a private guard company on a federal contract socializing. congregating, loitering, yucking it up, smoking. And if any, it's conceivable for me that yes, okay, they gave the guards their meal break, or the guards gave themselves a meal break at this time. Now, I worked at security. You don't send your security department on a meal break at the same time. One person goes, comes back, and then the other person goes and comes back. You know, if something happens and your guards are out to lunch, you know, who's going to respond? So there's that issue. And the issue is you're paying your tax dollars for this. You are paying taxes for these two guards to be, now I can see beverage. Don't know if it's a soda. The can looks kind of long, so it might be one of those energy drinks. Don't know. I'm trying to figure out where he got it from. Must have had it in his pocket. Don't know. They're on their phones. One, the female employee of the state of Texas on her phone, and one guard is on their phone. And I guess when people socialize, that's what they do instead of talking to each other. Either way, your tax dollars are going to waste because the state of Texas employees are not doing their jobs. And if it's time to close up and leave, it's time to close up and leave. You are putting the state of Texas in jeopardy. The offices are open. They collect money, so that money is unsecured. Any crazy person, it doesn't matter that they're literally in front of a federal point of entry from Mexico into the United States of America. Trust me, the little crazies around here, they'll run up to them, rob them, and they'll be gone, and the police and the federal agents will never catch them. That's just how easy it is to get robbed. So if your job was to close your office at a certain time and you decide to be outside your office congregating with security, you're putting that office in jeopardy. You're putting the money in that office in jeopardy. You are putting yourself in jeopardy. You have no claim. If you get harmed and you should have been home instead of loitering outside your workplace, you don't have a claim for health, for medical issues. You know, you're going to have to pay it yourself. So there's a lot of issues here. Now, excuse me, if they haven't officially closed and they are on the clock, and by loitering in that position, they're putting their lives and their office in jeopardy, if they should be harmed, if they should be shot or stabbed, robbed, then the taxpayer is on the hook for that. Now, when I started, well, I record them now and then. In interest of fairness, is when the members of the El Paso Police Department have annoyed me, I recorded them, and they've annoyed me because of constitutional issues. I know they're made aware of the Constitution of the United States of America, but one, they act like punks bullies, really. And they do manage to intimidate a lot of people. A lot of people are scared of them, and they'll just start to shake and not defend their rights, won't record them. And we really are a very big problem if if we know they're doing this and we're letting them do it. We're part of the problem. I was having 2 conversations with 2 people, and we are the cancer. We, the people, are the cancer. We know evil exists. We know evil exists in the form of employees who don't work. Evil exists in the form of police officers who abuse the human rights and constitutional protections of individuals. We know evil exists in politicians who work more for businesses that help them get elected than for the people. We know this, but we don't do anything about it. And if we don't do anything about it, then we are the problem. And yelling at them means nothing. We should be yelling at ourselves for allowing it. I was talking to somebody, and it's uncomfortable for the people of Mexico to hear that they destroyed their country with their attitude that because everybody's corrupt, then they can do what they want. And what it means is that they don't have to follow the law. Born in Mexico, raised in El Paso, Texas. My whole life I've been surrounded by Mexicans. I've heard their scams. I've heard their hustles. I've heard how they want to get stuff from lying to the state. And they think they're lying to the federal government. They don't understand block grants. They don't understand the money that the federal government gives to the state for food stamps and welfare and government housing and the Medicaid system. They don't. They just think it's the government of the United States of America that has money, and they can take money from the government. They don't understand that the taxpayers of the United States of America who is funding the government, and the government only has the money that it takes from the people. And of course, that's the people who work and pay taxes. I'm not surprised that somebody who doesn't work, doesn't pay taxes, is demanding that the government take care of them. Because they have nothing to lose. They have no ambition. They don't love their life. They have no self-respect. They don't want to earn their way through life. They just want to be fed, cleaned, taken care of, instead of taking care of themselves. And I was making this point to two people I spoke to yesterday. Is that at what point in time does a woman with 3 children, she can't afford to say, I need to stop having children? Because we all hear about it. We all hear about welfare families where the single mother has 7 children from 5 different men. How is that our responsibility? We should have compassion for the children. We should have sympathy and empathy for the children. We shouldn't be comfortable with children having hunger pains. Adults should have hunger pains. I am a firm believer in the motivational power behind hunger pains. Somebody will get hungry enough and then they'll go do something. So the dynamic has changed. One guard has gone somewhere. I don't know where he went while I was talking. There are now 3 of them, 1 guard and 2 guards. And 1 state of so the one that I got it. Yes, the one that left. Well, got it. They're in the dark. Well, there's 3 of them, and 1 at least a guard, and 1 at least a state of Texas employee. And it's dark. I can see the human forms, drinking the beverage, waving the arms, and I'm trying to go by the uniform because the dark uniform. You should see a light right now. It's a flashlight. The dark uniform belonged to here comes the other one. So he has so I was right. It was 2 guards and the female state of Texas employee. Now the other state of Texas employee has come out of his area, his office, and has joined the gang again. And you got the guy with the flashlight shining the light on his beverage. And his guard is taking, his partner in security is taking the beverage, holding it up. I don't know why. They're passing it back and forth. It almost looks like a cake party, a bonfire in the woods where they're passing the hard liquor around. But again, now we're into 34 minutes and 5 minutes of the other camera. Smoke break? Don't think so. It sounds highly suspicious. And again, you don't send your security department out on a meal break at the same time. Now the other Texas employee is going into his region, his area, or the region of the other person. I really don't know what, because they usually have a left. He's going to go do the job he's supposed to be doing. A vehicle pulled up, so he's got to collect. Well, at least he's aware of what's going on around. So he's working. Here you are. The fact that he's by the truck. Hold on. Is he collecting? Let me see here. He's at the truck. He's talking to the driver of the truck. It's a van, excuse me. A large white van. It's an Econoline on E350, I believe is what they used to call them. Could be a truck with a camper. I can't see that well from where it is. So the Texas employee is talking to the person by the side doors of the vehicle. He closed his door to his office. How's he going to collect taxes at the vehicle? Doesn't the person have to bring whatever, cigarettes, liquor to the window so he can calculate? And now the tall guard is going into the office of he's going into the office of the employee of the state of Texas, which he shouldn't be in because he's on federal contract. He's not there for state purposes. The the state employee is still by the side of the van, the side door, talking to the driver. I know the driver because I saw him get out of the driver's side. I'm wondering how he's collecting taxes if the driver isn't bringing the items that need to be, that he's going to pay the taxes on, to the window, so the person, the employee of the state of Texas, can use his little calculator and say, okay, you owe this much money. Because that's what the state of Texas employees, those who work for the Department of Agriculture here at the port of entry, should be doing. They collect taxes on liquor and cigarettes brought in from Mexico into the United States. But now you have a guard, private company guard, working for the federal government inside an office assigned for the state of Texas. So he works for the federal government. He shouldn't be in an office assigned to the state of Texas. Again, there's money in that office. The two employees that work for the state of Texas are not in the office. Now the employee's going into the office. How do they know what that guard was up to? If money ends up missing, how are you going to prove what happened to that money if the person responsible for that office isn't in the office? What happened? The van's still there. The driver's still next to now he's coming around. The door's still open. He's carrying a box of something. It's beers maybe. If it's a box, I don't think it's a box of cigarettes. It's heavy. So it's either cigarettes or liquor. Could be. I'm just saying by the size, it looked like could be cigarettes. And there's people here in El Paso, Texas, that have a little side business of cigarettes. They buy them cheap in Mexico. There comes a vehicle. I don't know if it's law enforcement. It's got headlights, those lights on the top of it. That is customs. Yeah, it looks blue. So that would be customs. I would call them customs. Ever since it became the Department of Homeland Security, it's no longer, we used to call them Border Patrol, Customs, Immigration, Naturalization. Now you just go by the sticker and, Department of Homeland Security. So the Texas employees with the driver, there goes the driver, his side door is still open. Driver's by the door, doesn't go in. I guess he's paying his taxes for whatever it is he brought over from Mexico that requires taxes to be paid for. A security guard is inside the office of the Texas Department of Agriculture. On the outside, you got an employee of the Texas Department of Agriculture and a security guard. Again, the security guards they work for a private company on a federal contract assigned here to the port of entry. If they're on a meal break, maybe a good idea not to send your two guards on a meal break at the same time. If they're working, okay, which when I was in security, I used to tell everybody, hey, wherever I'm standing, I'm working. The uniform is preventing crime, and I can see and hear around me in case anything happens. However, they have enough territory that standing in one area really isn't patrolling the area you were hired to patrol. You gotta roam around the whole area. That's what you used to call rover. That's what they call you. The person walking around, that's what they call them, a rover. So this guy has been, it is now 40 minutes plus the 5 on the other, 45 minutes in one area and socializing. Not being aware of what's going on. You have a truck parked over here, and you have the person who came to pay taxes, and that guard is unaware. Anything can happen with that truck driver. You people don't live here. You would think that a terrorist with a bomb from Mexico wouldn't be able to make it on American soil. And I hate to tell you this. Oh, I wish why does that truck have to stand? I mean, well, that's got to be Satan at work. He has to park there. He's blocking traffic. Move along. You're going somewhere, so move. Why are you blocking my field of vision? So now the other guard and the other Department of Texas employee, Department of Agriculture employee, went into that office that the other guard and Texas employee were at. This truck had to come here and just park there. It's okay. I'll let you know what's going on. And again, your tax dollars are being wasted. That's the point. Your tax dollars are being wasted. They're all in that little office. As you're watching the screen, it will be to the left. There's a van there. He's had his side door open. He's taken a box, took it into, well, handed it to the person inside the Texas Department of Agriculture office, pay the taxes. That's what they're there for. So that is an office that is working. And if it is working, why are they socializing with security guards? They're wasting your tax dollars. Okay, I can see somebody with a bucket mopping. Okay, maybe the janitor and maybe the employees themselves cleaning up their offices. So they're getting close. They're getting to where they're going to close. Haven't closed yet. So all this time they've been socializing with the guards, and the guards are now inside the office of the Texas Department of Agriculture, where the state employees work. The guards are private guard company guards working on a federal contract inside the state of Texas office. It's under the authority of the state of Texas. Not only is it under the authority of the state of Texas, it's a state office, Department of Agriculture. Okay? You can be friendly, you can socialize. By the fact that van is there, the guy is there, he hasn't pulled out any money. Don't know why it's taking so long for the guy to pay his taxes and go on his merry little way. Probably because the guards and the state of Texas employees are socializing. Another thing is that they want you to pay exactly. If you owe $5.49 of taxes, you gotta pay $5.49 of taxes. You cannot give them $5 in 2 quarters. Because they will not give you change. Okay, so he's on his way out with something wrapped in plastic that looked like a liquor bottle. So how much stuff did this guy bring with him? But again, there's people who have side businesses. They buy the stuff cheap in Mexico. They bring it to the United States of America, and they sell it to their neighbors. Here, as I'm sitting in a taxi, there's people coming up and down selling cigarettes. Right now, well, I shouldn't say right now, but if the workers around in this area, a lot of people wait for the vans to take them to Hatch, New Mexico to work on the farms, the chili and the onions and stuff like that. And there is a person who comes with Juarez, part of that, who has his van loaded with liquor, and he sells that liquor to the workers going up to Hatch, New Mexico. And the people here in the downtown area. Right now there's a fair amount of individuals and a fair amount of, hoodlums. Perfect word for them. They smoke marijuana, they take pills, they drink alcohol. They look around at the cars to see what they can break into. They take a battery, a radio, luggage. This is why I said I count at least 3 criminal gangs, no police presence whatsoever. Okay, so now the guard is coming out. He's left the state of Texas office. 44 minutes into this, the driver closed his side door, so he may be on his merry little way. I guess the guard that came out of the Texas office is now returning or going to patrol the other part of his area that he should be patrolling. And the issue here is waste of your tax dollars. For 50 minutes, I'm listening to the police radio, so I'm trying not to talk over them so you'll be able to understand. Oh, now there's a taxi that was behind that cargo van that is leaving, and his customers are going to need to pay their liquor and cigarette taxes. And the fact that they're going to that building means that those employees of the state of Texas are actually on the clock. So this time that they were socializing with the guards, they were wasting your tax dollars. They were not working. They were not being responsible to their duties and responsibilities, because I don't think you pay them to socialize with guards. Do you, people of the state of Texas, pay these people to socialize? You know, I think you pay them to do their jobs. And from what I am observing, it's obviously they're still on the clock. Comes another person with a box. That's liquor. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You can do it. You can buy liquor in Mexico. Come to the United States of America. The customs will ask you. If you declare, you declare. Some people pay, you know, take the risk. The custom, and a lot of people don't get searched. That's what I was saying. It's very easy for a terrorist in Mexico to come into the United States of America with his bombs or his rifles, not get searched, and go do whatever mayhem he was going to go. I live here. It's very easy for that to happen. So it's very easy for people to sneak in liquor and cigarettes and whatever. And a lot of people take the risk. And of course, when customs, and that's the word I'm going to use, American customs gets to them, well, they apologize, and then the custom tells them, well, you just go to that little office and pay your taxes. Instead of citing them, you know, making it hurt so they can talk to other people, and other people won't try to sneak in stuff into the country. It's a lot of, you know, relaxed attitude around here. It's a lot of stuff that people don't see because they don't live in El Paso, Texas. I will not go into Mexico again. I won't confront customs. I don't have to talk to Border Patrol. They're not in their jurisdiction. I'm not coming into the United States of America, so don't need to talk to them. Don't have an attitude. Again, this is not about having an attitude against police officers or law enforcement. This is what you people don't see. This is why so much of us are adamant about keeping an eye on law enforcement at whatever level. You know, you people just don't see what we see. You don't hear of the abuse. You don't, because you're not from here, or because you have a pro law enforcement attitude. Oh, that guard's still there. He was behind the taxi. And again, that's not his job, by the way, to be inside that state of Texas office. Let me see where he's going. He's going back in that office. So now you have the two guards and the two state of Texas employees in the same office. One of the state of Texas employees is taking the taxes from the customer of the taxi driver. And that's what the taxi driver did. He brought a customer from Mexico into the United States of America. The customer obviously has liquor, at least that's what it looks like to me, and is paying his taxes. And that to me indicates that office is open for business. And an office of the state of Texas open for business has two security guards from a private company assigned to a federal contract inside of it. There are so many reasons why that shouldn't happen. Records that those guards should not see, access to financial resources that they should not have access to. Not to mention, it's not their job. They don't get paid to hang out in the office, Department of Agriculture office here at the port of entry between Juarez and El Paso, Texas. It's happening in the downtown area. The best address of incident would be 1000 South El Paso Street. That's the address of the Department of Agriculture of Texas office here, where they collect the taxes on cigarettes and liquor coming in from Mexico. Now there's another person that just came out of the office on the right, walking towards the office on the left. That might be the female. I didn't see her go to the office. So either way, there was two guards and one employee. And now you have the two state employees and the two private guards inside the same office, and it is 50 minutes. 50 minutes that these employees have been socializing with each other. You don't send your security department out to lunch at the same time. Who responds if there's an incident? You send one, then you send the other. When I worked in a department of 7, One would go, the other one would go, the other one would go. And the reason for that is we didn't want 2 guards in the cafeteria because people would be commenting there's 2 guards in the cafeteria not working and, wasting time, even though they had a legitimate right to take a break. It's just the image, the public relations factor. As it is, people laugh at security guards. I don't laugh at security guards. It bothers me the lack of professional ethics. Of course, when you're talking about security, why bother talking about professional ethics? Why bother talking about morality? But it's your tax dollars. What do you pay for? They do what they do because we allow them to do it. We watch the insanity, we watch the madness, we watch Pelosi and Schumer and Ocasio-Cortez and Beto O'Rourke, and I think it's the Escobar is the one here, the U.S. House of Representatives from this area. We watch their insanity and we don't say anything. And that's why these guards feel comfortable enough to waste an hour. I don't know what they're getting paid. Let's say they're getting paid $10 an hour. 2 guards, that's $20 of your tax dollars. Now, if you distribute that over the state of Texas, over the United States, really it's not even a penny. But the issue being is you get paid to do something. You don't get paid to socialize with employees of another department. And those state of Texas employees have serious responsibilities about records, confidentiality, protecting financial resources, specifically money that is given to them, entrusted to them for the taxes that people pay when they bring in liquor and cigarettes into the United States from Mexico. So you have 2 people who are not responsible, don't answer to the state of Texas in the state of Texas office. When you are on a contract for security, whether you're on contract on a private property, it goes the other guard walking over to the other side. Now he's going to be the only person in that office because the two state employees are in the office as you're watching the screen on the left. He went to the office as you're watching the screen to the right. So he's alone in that office. And he's not an employee of the state of Texas. And is he looking at the computers? Is he going through the money box? People will say, well, he's a guard. Why would he do that? Why would any criminal do what they do? Don't ever assume because a person is wearing a uniform and working a particular... Okay, so now the guard is bringing the mop. The security guard and I am laughing. The security guard working for a private company on a federal contract is taking the mop and bucket into the office of the state of Texas. I don't think that's his responsibility. Is his responsibility to help clean that office? I think I have observed excuse me, behaviors that lead me to believe that the state of Texas requires these 2 employees to clean the office. They don't send them housekeeping, maids, janitors. They require them to broom and mop, which is kind of strange. You get paid to collect taxes / do the job of a janitor and maid. So now we're looking at 54 minutes of 2 guards from a private company, 2 state of Texas employees. And I'm going to keep recording this and I'm going to post the whole video. If they're in there for 2 hours or 3 hours, it's my cell phone is attached to my car. The battery, it won't drain the car battery down. I used to have tablets that would drain the battery down, but that's just because it was a weak battery. So you probably don't want to watch all this, but I'm documenting a waste of the tax dollars of the people of the United States of America, not to mention the putting in jeopardy records of the state of Texas, monies of the state of Texas, by allowing unauthorized personnel inside an office. Those guards are not authorized personnel. They're not authorized to be in the offices of the state of Texas. Not even a cop could go in there. A police officer would have to be investigating a report of a crime or suspicious behavior he or she observed. So I don't think a crime, and if a crime occurred and the guards have been called to document, one, these employees wouldn't call these guards because these guards are there for federal purposes. That's how it works.
1205, correction, 12501, 12501, it's going to be referenced to unknown problem. Head of email on the line, just the 20, however, we have an open line. No background noise heard. No previous events at the 20.
When I used to work security, and I would get put in a shopping center.
Also, the second call came in advising that the son called her advising someone shot at their house. RP's going to be on their way to the list. I don't know how many shots are fired towards the house. Okay. Sons are going to be 24 and 23 years of age. They're going to still be at the listed.
There's a report of shooting. So one guard just took out quickly out of the state of Texas office because he's going back to wherever he should be. And the other,
for the call that's just coming in Pebble Hill.
And the other guard just went into the office to the right, again pushing the bucket, the mop bucket, and the mop into that office. So the state of Texas employees are on the office to the left, and the guard was alone in the office to the right. And now the guard on the office to the right is going to the office on the left. And the way he was looking over, like somebody told him that they're being watched and recorded. 57 minutes, I think with 57 minutes, I won't have to add the other 5 minutes of the other camera. I'd have to go home, connect it to the computer, see if that clip can be recovered. We got to keep my eyes on my surroundings here. Got another, what I call street people. It's people that spend their time out in the night, scamming, hustling. A lot of the workers I was talking about that go to Hatch, and I'm not watching the people wasting your tax dollars. I got to keep my eyes on my surroundings. But a lot of these people who go to Hatch, they come here early and they fall asleep on the sidewalk.
Thank you.
And these hoodlums, these regular hoodlums that come out all doped up, actually steal from them. Take their wallets, rip their backpacks away from them. You know, hats. And the reason I know is because they're always coming up to me and telling me. Like, why the hell are you telling me? Call a cop. A long time ago, so this guy's getting closer to my car and he has a stick, a metal stick of some kind. So, keeping an eye on him. I'm not keeping an eye on what's going on with the guards and the state of Texas employees. Wasting time. By the little pipe here. And the reason I'm talking about it because I may have to do something if this person goes wacko. And that's the problem. See, you're talking about people who red flags and people who should be reported. All the crazy homeless people that come through here, I would report, and they should be put in an institution somewhere. They are very dangerous. It's sad and tragic what happened to them. Having studied psychology, I know that the majority of people do not ask for mental health issues.
That's going to be negative, sir. Unknown plate 85, no 85 on the driver. Just that it was a black Mustang.
It happens through biology.
2327.
It happens through Stretch for Life.
Frank 192.
Sad and tragic, but they're a threat to humanity. They're a threat to society at large. And all this talk about guns and gun control. How about crazy homeless control? So now you got another state of Texas employee walking over to the right office. You gotta do double duty here. And the guy it's outside. I feel the victim thrown against the wall. Stressful. It's more. Now he's getting close to my car.
Have you head us to 92 District? Gonna be over at 1705 Firehouse, 175, correction, 1705.
And most of the time it's easy to get them off.
Panic. Biden's coming from
they're just so drugged up, and they want money, and they're not thinking rationally, and they'll get close to the cab and start asking for money, and you gotta just talk to them in a harsh voice, and they'll go somewhere else. I'm not gonna record them. He's picking up buds, cigarette buds, free smokes, I guess. So over here you have a state of Texas employee now and a guard still at it an hour later. Still at it. One state of Texas employee, one guard, and again the guards have been going into the offices of the employees of the state of Texas. A lot of issues there, you know, conflict of interest, confidentiality. Those state of Texas employees have records they need to protect, even if the records are displayed on a computer screen that somebody else might see. And granted, they're not smart enough, or they don't care, or they say it's no big issue, and you wonder why, you know, Trump is having to deal with false reports of things he didn't do with the president of Ukraine, and it's probably because somebody wasn't doing their job, and somebody who had no reason to have access to information saw something on a computer screen or a document laying on a desk and jumped to conclusions and then decided he had to do something, all because somebody wasn't protecting confidentiality, all because somebody wasn't doing their job, locking their office, was yucking it up with the janitor or even with the secretary, you know. So there is consequences to this, not to mention the waste of your tax dollars. It's obvious the state of Texas employees are on the clock. Even if there aren't people paying taxes, there's always paperwork. When I worked in an office, a fast-paced office, I used to tell them, don't ever think that you have downtime. If you're not answering phone calls, work on your paperwork, get your stuff in order. You know, fill in the stuff on the computer. Get ready. You know, get ready for the next customer. Get ready for the next person who calls you. Don't sit there thinking that, oh, the phone's not ringing, I got nothing to do. There's always something to do in an office, and if you're smart, you take advantage of the time that you're not answering phone calls to do paperwork, to plan for tomorrow. That way you have less work to do, you know? So here they are smoking. The guard has been smoking, tall, heavyset guard, has been smoking like a chimney. And that's another issue, you know.
2231.
Should government employees be allowed to smoke? Being that their health insurance comes from the taxpayers. I hate it when people say, no, it comes from it's my money. It comes from the city of El Paso. Well, the money from the city of El Paso comes from the taxpayer. The taxpayer is funding them. The taxpayer has now been financing this guard and this state of Texas employee, looking at their phone, smoking, drinking beverages, yucking it up. So the other guard returned, went somewhere, probably got a call on the radio. See, that's the problem. If something happens, you're congregating, you're not patrolling your area, you're not ready to respond. Standing in one area for over an hour is not properly patrolling an area. And in this place, a lot of stuff happens. See, the guards are here because the Customs and Border Patrol are limited as far as how much they can do when people start to fight with each other, because they're not police officers. Their duties and responsibilities are to, you know, deal with people coming in from Mexico into the United States of America. Is not to deal with people, is not to deal with vandals. So the security guards are supposed to be preventing vandalism, preventing assaults on the federal employees as much as visitors and tourists. And if you're standing in one area, you're not preventing crime. You may be preventing crime in the area that you're standing at, but you're not really preventing crime throughout the facility.
Come in at 1607 to 3280 Joe Battle at 05 East.
So there's obviously in El Paso, Texas, a report of a gunshot Some of these are ex-boyfriend, needing to attack the person who now is dating the woman they used to date. See here. So you have, and they're in the light, so it should be seen, those two little human forms. One guard, one state of Texas employee. An hour, 10 minutes later, it's an hour and 5 minutes on this, and the 5 minutes on the other camera. Who goes to lunch for an hour and 10 minutes? If this is a meal break, I think an hour and 10 minutes, a little bit more, then, And again, I don't know if it's before or after midnight. If it's before midnight, it's September 24th, 2019. If it's after midnight, it's September 25th, 2019. It's a gross violation of trust. I think the people who pay taxes expect that employees be doing the job that they were hired to do. But we live in a world where people don't do what they're supposed to do. People don't drive the speed limit. People don't stop at the yellow light. People don't stop at the stop sign. Here comes another state of Texas employee coming out of the right side office. Could be the female. Looks like the female. So now you got two state of Texas employees with a guard. The other guard, the smaller guard went somewhere. That could have been a possibility. I never thought of it. That when he left in a hurry, it's because they called him on the two-way radio. But you still have one guard here. In a gray shirt, dark slacks. I don't know. I wouldn't say black. They could be black.
Paso 4B708, end of line, Alpine, correction, 6 record.
Hour and 7 minutes. And this is just documenting a waste of your tax dollars.
B708,
this isn't an abuse of authority, but guards don't have authority. The last two videos I did is because they were over here, the city of El Paso, trying to, I don't know, enforce laws or enforce policies, but they're outside their job site. Somebody needs to tell them this is as far as you can go. Other than this, you are in the city of El Paso and you shouldn't be doing anything to anybody. If you do anything, if you observe something, call a cop. And if you observe something that threatens life, well, then you act, but you don't act as a security guard. You act as a private individual giving assistance to people whose lives are in danger. Of course, being fully aware that you're going to have to suffer the consequences if you do something wrong. Good Samaritan laws only protect you to a certain extent. Laws of rendering aid only protect you to a certain extent. And it's a good idea to check the law. I believe that we have a responsibility with all the insanity that's going on to be well armed, prepared to defend ourselves, and prepared to defend the lives of our neighbors. But you have to do it within the law. Even when you go and do it within the law, you're going to have trouble from law enforcement, from district attorneys, because they don't want people to do their jobs, because if people are doing their jobs, then there is no need for them. So there's two state of Texas employees, one security guard. The guards have been in and out of those state of Texas offices. Hour and 9 minutes. You do see the people roaming around. You're probably wondering why I haven't moved. This is regular business here. Yesterday was a very bad day of business. Oh, here comes, to make things worse, here comes another guard for the group. So now you're going to have 3 guards. Why not? 2 state of Texas employees and 3 guards. Hey, let's invite the whole state of Texas employees, all the guards. Have a little cookout, hot dogs, Lay's potato chips with Tabasco sauce, root beer soda. Let's make it a party. 3 guards, 2 state of Texas employees. I don't know if the state of Texas employees get paid to socialize with security guards. And of course, I don't know if the security guards get paid to socialize with state of Texas employees. But it's obvious to me that the offices of these Texas Department of Agriculture are open, and they should be in their offices doing their duties and responsibilities as assigned.
For in and out, if I can have you set at 247 District, coming in at 659 Country Oaks.
The taxpayers
659 Country Oaks reference the noise
should be
disturbance.
upset that this is happening. And I said I'm going to...
Subject plays music starting at 6 a.m. till midnight every day. Requesting PD to asking to lower it. 2330.
And I said, if it's 3 hours of these people, man, that's just gonna look bad on them. How would you explain that to your manager?
Paso Friday on 1907.
Then of course, if the governor of the state of Texas would become aware of this, how would he explain that employees of a Texas department feel comfortable enough to be out socializing with guards, not protecting their offices, not doing their work? The fact that one of them attended those two people, that's not just the only work they have.
Show me for now time to 3400 Alameda.
You know,
starting mileage 169.
Right now,
31.
Where they're at, there's no way they can tell if somebody drives up to the window to pay their taxes. Talking about the state of Texas employees. And it's probably because it's after their time. They do close around this time. They don't stay open all night long. It's not a 24/7 office. And again, I don't know when they close. We're looking at an hour and 12. Well, at least I entertained myself for an hour and 12 minutes. This is very boring.
Went back home with your mother.
Especially when there's no business. It's frustrating. Waste of life. Making less than minimum wage. So now you have 3 guards in one area.
If you get that text, George Paul Victor.
Who's providing security services for the rest? And you, people of the United States of America who pay your taxes, are paying the salaries of these guards, who obviously are smoking, drinking beverages, and not doing their job. The state of Texas employees are sort of doing their job, but the state of Texas employees have allowed unauthorized personnel into their offices. People who do not answer to the state of Texas. I'm kind of curious how long. I know I won't run. I know I will not run out of memory card. How long will they keep this up? Now you cannot make right now you could not make the case that they were on a meal break, that they were on their lunch hour, unless they give them more than an hour for lunch, or unless they give them more than 45 minutes for lunch. And again, this is happening to the right side of the screen, underneath that canopy of lights. The canopy of lights is where the U.S. government shops up cars that they believe are hiding drugs, that the drivers hid drugs in them. You'll hear grinding. We haven't heard any grinding today, but that's where they take the vehicle, start searching it, and if they have to, they'll start ripping it apart. The interior, they'll start cutting. Now and then, they have ripped the car apart and found no drugs, which means they're financially responsible for all the damage they caused. Which means you, the taxpayer, is financially responsible for all the damage they caused. Said I'm going to stand for health, and I've been here. Time that I should stand up, take a little walk, but monitoring here. Curious. I'm excuse me for coughing. I haven't had my water. I'm curious to see how long these people are going to keep it up. How long can you be dereliction?
It's going to be 62 District at Kemp and Stevens.
Here comes the guard. It just came out of the state of Texas office.
A couple fighting at this intersection, advising a couple lives in a gray duplex on Kemp. Unknown address. They're advising they can hear the female stating to stop hitting me and a child crying. 80 base coming.
Now you have a domestic violence in what we call the northeast area. That's what you're hearing in the background, the police radio, police scanner, Police scanner app from Broadcastify.
Maybe you can show us routes that Illinois calls Pasadena.
And I do recommend, if it's possible in your area, wherever you live, you know, have your stuff working.
Raising of the party it listed. No contact desired.
If there's somebody racing down the street, they love to race down the street. It's a miracle he stopped at the stop sign. Okay, so I was gonna say, I wonder what's gonna happen first. Am I gonna get a trip first, or are these people gonna stop wasting our tax dollars? Again, under the canopy, you see a little light of canopy, and then you see sort of two lights. Just as dark, poor resolution. You should be able to make out the human forms. I'm not lying to you. This is what's happening. I've noted the area incident, location of incident. Try to describe more or less what they're doing. Right now, they're just talking to each other. I cannot talk to a person for more than 5 minutes without getting bored. These people have been at it for over an hour and 20 minutes now. You got the female state of Texas employee, you got a male state of Texas employee, 3 male guards, private guard company on federal contract. Now the female is going to the right side office as you're looking at the screen. The male state of Texas employee is going into the left side office, and all 3 guards went right behind them into the state of Texas office. They don't work for the state of Texas. They work for a private company assigned to a federal location. It's what you call unauthorized personnel.
That's 10-4, 2346.
You know, when things start missing and you start questioning employees, your employees are not going to say, oh, well, the 3 guards were in here and we left them alone sometimes. There are consequences to poor behavior. So now you can't see anybody because they're inside the offices. Hour and 20 minutes. Let's see what happens. I am of the mind just to continue recording to see when this insanity. I'm wondering if they're going to do this for 2 hours. 2 hours and a half. Of course, if I get a customer, I got to leave.
Hey, respond 9306 and B2100 Shreya, reference 50 verbal. Can you go ahead at 2346?
My primary responsibility is to make money. That's what I'm here for. Though lately in the taxi business, there is no such thing as making money. Okay, so nobody's outside. The female state of Texas employees on the right office, as you're watching the screen. The 3 guards and the male employee are on the left office as you're watching the screen. And the reason that you have one office on the left, one office on the right, is because cars entering the United States from Mexico will enter from those 2 locations, from the left and the right. And if somebody has alcohol or smokes cigarettes they need to pay taxes on, well, they're going to stop at one, depending on what side they're on. So that's why there's 2 offices. And in the day, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of traffic. Right now, no. And you'll notice that cars are not coming in from the, as you're watching the screen, the right side. They're only coming in as you're watching the screen on the left side, where the 2 vehicles earlier who paid taxes are from. And this street person, that's what I call them, they live on the street. They can have a little apartment in downtown, but they come out and they live on the street. They don't go to work.
3.52-10-4. In and out of filtered up to 35 District at 1201 Randolph. That's 1201 Randolph, apartment 400, apartment 400, reference missing adult. By the son has been missing for 2 days. Ivan Tavares, Hispanic male, 20. 190 pounds, bald head, brown eyes. Has glasses, last seen wearing a black shirt and unknown shorts. Mother travel would be.
No, the female has her purse and stuff.
Her previous
Turn off the lights, let the door closed, so it's time to leave. The male is coming out. Well, one guard came out. Now the female is going into the office on the left. One guard came out. So now you have 2 state of Texas employees and 2 guards
Paso 1503, Hernandez, Anthony, Jesus.
Now you have another guard coming out the back. The other guard coming out the back. This guard coming back to his homies. They left the office on the left. Now the two state of Texas employees are inside the office on the left as you're watching the screen. I'm wondering, are these guards finally go under? Oh, they're looking for the burrito. They're pointing in the direction of the illegal burrito van. Now he's shining his flashlight. That flashlight you see is coming from one of the guards. He's shining it straight at my car. Now, why would you do that? That's just going to irritate me. And if you irritate me, I'll record you and put you on YouTube every second of your life. So the male went into the, was that the female that went into the office on the right? She has just closed it. So the male's coming out. He's got his bag. Okay, here she comes again. She must have forgotten something. So female leaving the right office as you're watching the screen. Male at the left office as you're watching the screen. You have a civilian. They pass through there on the way to their vehicles. So now the 3 guards and the 2 state of Texas employees are going to walk together to that other office. I cannot go there. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, they're going to walk together. They have another office closer to the federal checkpoint where they turn in stuff, I guess. So the supervisor and manager can view it. So that's it. So with the other 5 minutes on the other camera and this is 1 hour and 22 minutes.
You guess about flight of 1902.